As the 2007 NBA draft approached, the Portland Trail Blazers looked like a team on the rise. A perennial also ran on the cusp of building a sustainable winner for years to come. With reigning Rookie of the Year Brandon Roy leading the way, and with Portland wielding the #1 pick in a draft that was expected to produce two franchise-changing superstars in Greg Oden and Kevin Durant, the Blazers' future seemed foolproof. A couple hundred miles away in Seattle, the Supersonics were heading into a far less certain future, with the prospect of relocation looming over the franchise, which had recently come under new ownership. Still, one saving grace amid all the uncertainty was the fact that they held the second overall pick in the '07 draft, guaranteeing them whichever superstar to be the Blazers didn't select. When David Stern stepped up to the microphone to announce Portland's decision with the #1 overall pick, the fates of two players and two division rivals would veer in opposite directions, and the NBA landscape would forever be changed. Portland and Seattle entered the 2007 draft lottery with only the 7th and 5th best odds respectively. As fate would have it though, the Pacific Northwest lucked out, with the Blazers and Sonics securing the top 2 selections in what was seen as a 2-superstar draft class. Roy's smile said it all when then Deputy Commissioner Adam Silver revealed that Atlanta owned the #3 pick, and thus Portland and Seattle would make up the top 2. And it was the Blazers, ultimately, who were going to have their pick between Oden and Durant. Oden averaged 15.7 points, 9.6 rebounds, and 3.3 blocks on 61.6% shooting in his lone season at Ohio State to lead the Buckeyes all the way to the national championship game, where he put up 25 points, 12 rebounds, and 4 blocks in a losing effort. Oden was a winner, and he projected to be a physically dominant two-way big man in the association. Durant, meanwhile, averaged 25.8 points, 11.1 rebounds, 1.9 steals, 1.9 blocks, and 1.3 assists at Texas. He had the length of a big man, but the fluidity of a guard. A do-it-all near 7-footer who shot 40% from deep. Really, you couldn't go wrong with either player, but it's important to remember in hindsight that Oden was given the edge by the majority of fans and analysts alike. Durant's scoring popped off the screen and page, but as a dominant big man with better athletic measurables than the wiry KD, Oden was viewed as the safer pick. He was literally bigger, stronger, and faster. Though drafting for fit over talent upside is always a dangerous proposition, Oden also figured to be a better complement to the ball-dominant Roy than Durant would be.
Tell us about the prospects of playing with a big, dominant big man like potentially Greg Oden.
I mean, it'd be great to play with a big guy like him. I mean, he changed the game defensively and offensively, and he just can really help a young team grow even better.
Add it all up, and there wasn't much mystery left by the time the actual draft rolled around.
With the first pick in the 2007 NBA draft, the Portland Trail Blazers select Greg Oden from Ohio State University.
Hope sprang eternal for the Blazers on that June night, but through no fault of Oden's, their decision would soon look like a colossal franchise-defining mistake. Before he even took part in an NBA training camp, injury issues began to torment Oden. An exploratory procedure on his swollen right knee in September turned into a microfracture surgery that would sideline him for the entire 2007-08 campaign. As Oden recovered, Blazers fans watched through half-covered eyes as Durant took home Rookie of the Year honors after averaging 20 points per game in his debut season.
Something going toward the rim. In it comes to Durant. He's going to try to win it. Good at the buzzer! Kevin Durant hits a three-pointer and the Sonics win the ball game.
Still, the Blazers' belief in Oden didn't waver. As then Portland GM Kevin Pritchard noted, pre-draft MRIs on Oden's knees had been quote-unquote absolutely pristine. Oden's only notable collegiate injury was to his wrist, and the character he demonstrated amid the frustration only made Portland more excited about his future. "We picked the right kid. He cares about his organization," Pritchard said following Oden's 2007 surgery. "I can't overemphasize how bad he felt, and not because he had to go through the rehab and all that, but because he felt like he let us down, and he hasn't let us down at all." Finally, on opening night of the 2008-2009 season, Oden took the floor for Portland for the first time. Although an opening night foot injury immediately sidelined him again before another knee injury ailed him later in the season, Oden was able to play in 67 games between the regular season and playoffs for a 54-win Blazers team that became the toast of the league. Oden's numbers remained modest, while Durant averaged more than 25 points per game during his first season in OKC. But hope was once again building for a new era of contention in Portland, spearheaded by Roy and his new partner in the post. But that hope would soon be squashed for good.
Holy cow, Portland doesn't need this.
After a promising two-way start to the 2009-2010 campaign that saw Oden start Portland's first 21 games, the big man suffered a gruesome left knee injury that required season-ending surgery. When the 21-year-old was carted off the court on December 5th, 2009, it marked his last appearance in a Blazers uniform. Oden didn't play another NBA game for 4 years due to an unending series of injuries and setbacks. Between 2010 and 2012, he underwent multiple microfracture surgeries on his left knee and another procedure on his right knee. The Blazers eventually waived him in 2012, just months after Roy's early retirement due to his own knee issues. In all, Oden and Roy played parts of 2 seasons and 1 playoff series together, with Oden suiting up for just 82 regular season games for Portland. As that basketball tragedy was unfolding in the City of Roses, Durant was putting Oklahoma City on the NBA map, partnering with Russell Westbrook and James Harden, among others, to transform the Thunder into perennial contenders. As part of a Hall of Fame career that later saw him win 2 championships and Finals MVP awards as a member of the Warriors, Durant averaged roughly 27 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, and a block across 9 seasons for the Thunder Sonics franchise. During that time, KD won 4 scoring titles and an MVP award, while the Thunder won 10 playoff series, more than the Blazers have won over the last 30 years. For Portland, Oden over Durant became the new Bowie over Jordan, another infamous draft decision that had haunted Blazers fans since 1984. Oden's rotten injury luck also added to a snake-bitten narrative hanging over Portland that dated back to Bowie and Bill Walton. What might have been had Durant and Roy enjoyed a few years together before the latter's knees gave out? With a more competitive Blazers team led by KD avoiding the 2012 lottery, where might Damian Lillard have ended up? In Oklahoma City, the Thunder had a head start thanks to the presence of Durant. Even with Westbrook and Harden in the mix, would a less capable and less relevant team have captured the hearts of Oklahomans the way Durant's Thunder did in those early years? The only thing we know for sure is that the draft is an inexact science and a sometimes cruel endeavor, even when it appears you've been dealt a win-win hand with the #1 pick in a 2-star class. I know we're going to be connected for a long time. Kevin Durant and Greg Oden, said Oden the night his name was called just a few minutes before Durant's. When you hear my name, you'll hear his, the big man added in an unfortunate moment of foreshadowing. Oden was right about that. But this couldn't have been what he or the Blazers envisioned. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video and want to see more content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button.